you can learn some brush control. I'm going to do a bigger one down here. I can pull some of that paint. Is it really a birthday without birthday hats or at least a piece of birthday cake? Honestly, I don't think so. So today is my puppy's birthday, and I want to show you how to paint just a cute little birthday hat. We can use this idea to paint a little birthday hat. My Mei set, I absolutely love this set. This is one of the best student grade paints. If you do not like to paint and mix a lot of paint, this is an amazing set. You'll find it linked below. So we are going to jump right on in, and I'm going to basically start with an elongated triangle. So I'll do my straight line. I'm going to pull up an elongated triangle. I can make it short, you can make it long, depending on how tall you want your hat to be. We're going to do this with cool colors today. And if you're not familiar with what cool colors are, let's just do that really quickly. So when you think of hot and cool colors, think of colors that would go with the sun, would be hot. So your yellows, your oranges, your reds, think of hot. So they're warm colors. When you think of when you think of cool colors, you think of things that are cool or tranquil. I think of water. So your blues, some of your greens. Now, within each color, you can have a warm blue and a cool blue. But so this is a pretty blue. I'm just going to take some of that right out of my palette. That reminds me of the sky or the ocean. This is a really pretty little cool purple. That would be a pretty color to use. Add some water to it there. One of these turquoise blues. So that's a nice cool blue green right there, turquoise. Okay. I'm just going to go around the edge of my hat. I just have water on my brush. So let's do this watercolor birthday hat together. And we're just going to wet this very lightly. Remember the word glistening. I want this to be just soft, wet, glistening. I want my paper just to glisten. Let me center that better for you. When you look at it, you'll see where the edges are glistening. They're not soaking wet. They're not running. There's no big puddles. So I'm going to grab that. Let's see. I'm just going to grab some of this blue-green that's from here. We're just going to mix that. And I want to water that down really well. And then I'm just going to drop some of that color right along the side. Okay, so I can pull that color down and over. I'm just adding some extra water now. My paper's drying pretty quickly. I don't want it to be too wet, but I'm just going to pull that color, and you see how it's getting lighter off to the side there. I'm sorry for the camera. It keeps bouncing. We'll have to fix that somehow. I'm going to just add a little bit more of this, and we're going to keep it very faint, but I'm just doing like a very light wash of that color in the back of the hat, leaving a lot of white space in the center so that there it looks like it's shaded with some highlight. So we want to leave that white. It creates that delicate look that we all love so much with watercolor. I don't want any harsh edges, so I'm just going to tap with some water, dry that, clean my brush, and let me just dry this very quickly. So that first technique, we did a wet on wet. So we wet our triangle with water, and then we went on top with wet paint. Now my base is dry, so we're just going to go in and we're going to use some of our other colors. And let's come over here. Let's get some of our purple is here. It's wet and ready to use. Let me clean that off. So this is wet. This is dry. So now we're going to do dry, wet on dry. So if we were to come in here with the purple paint and go right on top of the green, they would blend together. But now that this is dry, I can come in, and what I want to do is create some little circles. I'm just going to create a circle with my purple. I don't have a whole lot of paint on it, a lot of water. I'm going to fill it in. I can leave some of the white space showing through. And remember, it's glistening. There's no big puddles. It's not going to run if I move my paper. I can come over and grab just a tiny bit more of the purple and just tap some around maybe say one side of the edge and just let it blend. Okay, so that's one dot, one circle. I'm going to do another circle here. So you can just practice getting used to the brush, making circles. Keep your paint light if you want it light. And I'm just going to fill in a few more circles quickly. I'm going to have some going off of the edge, and you'll see how you can kind of see through them a bit. Let's move you down just a tiny bit. And I want to work quickly because I don't want these to completely dry. I want to come in and add that little bit of darker paint around the edges. Grab just a tiny bit more there. And I just have the littlest bit of paint picked up on my paintbrush. And you'll see that littlest bit of purple, as long as your circle is still wet, it will bleed. See where this one's already started to dry. So I can fix that. I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm just going to have the slightest little bit of water in my brush, and I can just run it along that edge, and it will start to work its way through. Okay, but don't get stressed. It's not meant to have to be perfect. I'm going to add one more little purple circle up here at the top. We're going to go small. That's a little bit dark, which is fine. They don't all have to be exactly the same, but we can lift color off with our dry brush. I do have a video about lifting color, like how to correct some mistakes with watercolor, and I will link that below in the description box. If you like this video, I would love it. I would love it if you've not already. Give this button a little doodle. And a doodle just simply means, can you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you're notified when we come live or add new videos here to the YouTube page. So all we're doing is making little circles. Now I'm going to come in with my blue. I'm just going to grab some of that really pretty blue that we were using, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it here in my, sorry guys, I'm going to put a little bit of it here in my palette, but I want a lot of water on my brush. I want to be able to build the color up slowly. So with the same thing, I'm just going to come in and put circles. I'm going to outline that and pull it through. I'm going to make another one here. See how a lot of my color, my pigment, came off on that one. I can then add a few more drops of deeper pigment if I want that to spread. And the trick is, no big puddles, just glistening paper. Little tiny bit more pigment. You'll see how that blends. I can do some more at the top one. All right, so I'm just going to fill in a few more of the blue circles. I'm going to leave some white space and vary your sizes so you can learn some brush control. I'm going to do a bigger one down here. I can pull some of that paint and just fill your circles in. If you want some of that darker color around the edges, just go ahead and tap that in. Let's do some smaller circles here on the side. And remember, we're just working with the cool colors. Now, I am going to come in with our green. Even though we did a green wash in the back of the hat, I do want to use some of this cool green teal color. to make some circles in my hat, right? So I love to follow the rule of threes, usually like 3 leaves, 3 flowers, or 3 colors. Um, and we're doing this all sort of monotone with the cool colors. I'm just going to keep adding some, have some going off of the side. We can make some of that a bit darker with pigment. Okay, and I like it. I like it the way it is. I like it. So at the top of my hat, I'm going to pick a color. I'm just going to use one of my colors. So I'm going to use some of this purple. It's one of my favorites. And all I'm going to do at the top here is use the very tip of my brush, and I'm just going to start pulling out from the center. So I'm just going to start making, so as you can see, I'm just dropping the brush and flicking, dropping the brush and flicking. I'm just going to flick that color because I'm making like a little pom-pom on the top of my hat. Now I can come in with a little bit more of that purple, make it really vibrant, and I can add some darker shades of the strokes for the pom-pom hat, right? I can also come down here and I can do the same thing. So what I'm going to do is keep it light first. I'm going to take some of that paint off my brush. Let me lift you up. And I'm going to use some of that lighter purple, right? So imagine there's this imaginary line right here at the bottom of the hat. And I'm just going to flick upwards, outwards, and down with my brush to create just the movement of almost like fur or party hat, the foil that's on the bottom of a party hat, streamer. But you know, we're just giving it some movement, some fluffiness. I'm going to grab some of that darker purple, and we're just going to keep filling in and layering. You can go up on top. Now you can see here I ran out of water, so I re-wet my brush, and I'm going to grab some more pigment. So again, we're just going all different ways to create the streamer of our little birthday hat. And we can fill that in as much as we want. Right. And this is all dry. If I want to just finish that off a little bit, this is completely, you can leave it just the way it is. I'm going to come in with some of that deeper green pigment and just draw a little bit of an outline on my hat. And I'm just sort of lightly dragging and skipping that brush around. And I've created a little birthday hat. This would make an adorable card. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please like and subscribe to our channel. Give my video here a little doodle, which means a like or a share. I appreciate it. I'm Lolly Doodle, and I will be loading more easy, simple videos for you weekly. Have an amazing day and happy birthday.